What the fuck is up, YouTube? We're doing our first review of the year, 2016. Pretty deep in February.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. We've been away too long. So we are doing Deadpool today. First, I'm Mr. Negative.
And I'm Dr. Octopus.
And we're the Sinister 86. Now, going into this movie, fuck. It's a good thing I didn't place any official bets because I would have lost a lot of money. I was betting that this movie was going to suck.
Right.
I was betting that I was going to hate Ryan Reynolds, which I still kind of do, but not in this role. This movie was fucking amazing. What did you think of it?
So I unfortunately read the screenplay before watching it. I already kind of knew what happened and what was going to happen with a couple changes, and they kept the movie true to the screenplay, which was pretty cool.
So tell us what the movie's about.
So basically, it's the origin story of Deadpool in its entirety, but Wade Wilson is a mercenary who gets cancer, and then he joins this sort of wannabe Weapon X project to become a superhuman, and instead they just sort of torture him to the point of looking grotesque, and it's a revenge story. Oh, right, and he falls in love with this really hot chick.
It's like a love revenge story, pretty much. And you think that these have become a dime a dozen, like, oh my god, another generic plot. But it's not. Like, they capitalize on the plot, and they kind of, just like everything in the movie is so meta, they kind of meta the plot, they meta the whole universe around it, the cast, which, by the way, there's nobody in this movie except for Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And maybe Gina Carano. Those are probably the most notable names. I mean, you got that Ed Skrull guy.
Ed Skrein.
Skrull. I'm calling him Skrull.
The new transporters call him Frank Martin.
Yeah, I mean, and you got famous cameos, like character cameos, but then you don't really,
True that.
Well, half. Like Colossus is pretty famous.
Yeah.
In the comic book world.
Fictional cameos.
Right.
Sure.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I'd never heard of that shit. But she's awesome in this movie.
Yeah, she's
played by Sinead O'Connor.
Right.
If you see the movie, you'll get the reference.
Or Ripley.
Or Ripley from Alien 3.
Exactly.
And T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller, he's an up-and-comer. He's getting there. He's got some good roles.
I've seen him in, like little brief appearances. Like, you can't really call him cameos because it's not.
No, he just has side roles.
Yeah,
but entertaining as fuck.
He's hit or miss, but he's good in this. And the hot chick, Marina Baccarin, yeah. Never seen her in anything, but she was great. She's hot.
Fans of Firefly will know who she is, and she's in Gotham. But yeah, she's a fucking dime for sure.
All right. Well, let's get the positives. No, let's get the negatives out of the way because that's what I do. I'm the negative guy. You can say the positives. I'll say the negatives.
All right.
Negatives. There's something that happens in the end that I wasn't happy with. Not its overall climax, but then just the scene with Colossus. I didn't like that part. It wasn't as jokey, like overly saturated jokes that I thought it was going to be.
Right.
But they are hit and miss. Yeah. But the ones that hit pretty hard.
They knock it out.
It's like Tyson knocking out Robin Givens, in the
or Naomi Campbell.
Or Naomi
in the limo, yeah.
Not Holyfield. It's like Tyson knocking out Robin Givens. That's how funny this movie is.
Oh yeah.
But no, I thought it was great. I mean, I'm definitely biting my tongue now. I was predicting that it was going to be shitty, and as soon as you slap Ryan Reynolds' name on anything, I'm automatically like, eh. But I mean, the team that pulled together to make this movie really made this movie with passion. Yeah. I think my biggest problem with why I thought this was going to be shitty was watching his performance in Blade Trinity. That Hannibal King shtick, that Ryan Reynolds shtick that he always does.
I don't think I remember Blade Trinity. I don't think the Marvel Universe remembers Blade Trinity.
Well, if anybody remembers Blade, like that's the Ryan Reynolds that I don't like, and I thought he was going to be like that, like trying to outdo everybody, trying to be cool and funny, and it.
He kind of sort of brought it in. But it was also the same character that he played kind of in Green Lantern too, where it was sort of like, oh, he's the hot shot, and he's kind of funny because he's good looking and can get away with bad jokes, that's unfortunately how a lot of people are, especially Ryan Reynolds caliber good looking people.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I have to say about everything that I have negative to say about this movie. They end up addressing it within the movie in its meta, fourth wall breaking, all
For
that
the
stuff.
most part, yeah.
So it almost bulletproofs itself for me to take those shots.
Right.
Like I said, Ryan Reynolds, this concept to me is, like I said before, is like the Kevin Hart of the Marvel universe, where, if you watch the full show, the jokes that hit like bust your gut, but everything else is kind of like, okay, that's kind of funny, but not really laughing.
I don't like hearing it coming out of Kevin Hart's mouth because I don't like looking at Kevin Hart.
But no, I mean, I gotta say, I don't have that much negative stuff to say. I mean, I think people were stoked to see this, so they're going to be satisfied. I had low expectations, so I'm extremely satisfied. I'll leave all the positives to you because I gotta keep sticking my foot in my mouth even further before so that I can reach the heel.
Right. So, as a comic book fan myself, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a good movie. I walked out of there being completely satisfied with most of the jokes, a lot of the wit. Like the one fear that I had was that they were going to turn it into like The Mask with Jim Carrey, like just that ridiculousness, and they don't need that with Deadpool. However, again, for the most part, I was pleasantly satisfied. Again, it was like Age of Ultron, right? Like you came in there getting what you expected, a few surprises, but overall, she just knows how to treat you good. But the one thing that I appreciate, which I know that you didn't, was the portrayal of Colossus. So tell us about that.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's probably the main negative. The only negative I'll address. I wasn't happy about the Colossus character. I mean, we're 3 X-Men's deep invested in the other guy. Where I mean, it's not like he nailed it
Daniel
out of the park, but
Cudmore.
he's more wiry built, and all of a sudden we get a stockier, fake Russian accent version out of nowhere. And again, they address the timeline confusion,
Yeah, I mean,
but I just don't understand how you go from, especially with how they rectified Days of Future Past with Cudmore,
right.
Colossus being all fine, and then all of a sudden this version is just completely different. So I'm sure they'll find a way to address it then, but I think that's my biggest gripe about this movie. So what do you score this?
I will score this movie 4.7 dismembered baby fetus hands out of 5.
I'm gonna score this 4.25 fake Russian accents out of 5.
Oh.
Yeah, 4.25 fake Russian accents for me.
All right.
So yeah, that's our score. I mean, I'm excited for the sequel.
Definitely.
I'm excited for. I mean, they reference who they're gonna have next.
Oh yeah.
Stay for the end credit. This movie basically caught me off guard, and I have nothing bad to say. I have apologies to make to all the people I said that this movie was gonna be shitty to, but I'm not actually gonna say that apology. I'm just gonna,
It's been broadcasted. They know.
Yeah.
They know who they are.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, we got what's the next one coming up? Batman v Superman. I mean, well, whatever good comes up, whatever good movie comes up, we'll do that one next when we get the time.
Always hit it up.
Yeah. But check us out, host of Vancouver.
Sinister 86.
Sinister 86. Peace out.